it's time for One Piece.
Okay. Oda, Oda, Oda. Why? I feel like this is a freaking Katy Perry song, "Hot and Cold." I hate you. I love you. I just pissed at you. I want to punch you in the face, but at the same time, you. It's like I'm pissed because I have to resend my happy joyness I was at the end of last week's chapter, only for him to immediately make it so interesting that my anger at him is nearly gone. But that
Right.
just makes the anger even worse. It's like, as I said to Strider prior to the stream, it's like Oda's giving you the middle finger while slipping a 20 into your pocket.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it is.
It's like, oh, I can't hate you for giving me the middle finger because you gave me a 20.
But I hate you. But I love you. But I hate you. Do you remember? It was from Hey Arnold. Freaking, I can't remember her name.
Helga?
Yeah, Helga. And I hate you. But I love you. In her, like, weird ass closet that, if watched by an adult, would be seen as very, very freaking even weirder. But
It was weird.
regardless,
It's weird no matter what age is watching it.
I know. But I think you just kind of accepted it after a while.
Well, I mean, because that was, honestly, that was probably the least, like, that's what was funny about that. Was because in Hey Arnold, that was probably one of the least weird things about him, the series.
True.
Which is saying a lot.
Yeah, that is saying a lot.
So, um, well, anyway, back to One Piece.
Back to One Piece.
It just breaks my heart that because of the fact that it's still going on. But like I said, Oda made it this extension interesting.
Hmm.
First of all, we get the whole thing like, oh yeah, he beat, everyone's cheering, yeah, yeah, he won. Hey, Straw Hat, he won. And then he's like, oh well. Then he's like, oh well, he still can't, control, but he has to still uncontrollably bounce around. And then both him and Law look up at the birdcage. You're like, yeah, they're gonna look up at the birdcage and it's gonna be disappearing. And then it's like, no, it's still there. So at first, everyone's like, oh, he's not moving. He can't move, but he's still conscious. So Luffy's like, I can't waste any more time. Goes in to give him another attack, to hit him with another attack, to put him down for sure. And before he gets there, he fizzles out.
Yeah.
Which basically means if he would have immediately followed up the Leo Bazooka with another attack, he would have had enough time to finish it.
Yeah.
But of course, no. There was still some stuff that Oda wanted to do. Which honestly, I am calling this. This is officially This fight is now officially modeled after 100% modeled after Luffy Lucci. Why, you may ask? Because remember back when during that fight, when the whole thing about Luffy's Gear Third was like, oh, once he pulled it out, it was supposed to be over, and it wasn't over. Like when you thought, Lucci was done, over with, it was like, nope. You thought he was down, but he got back up,
Hmm.
and it forced Luffy to go beyond, his limits even further in order to finish him off, which is what's going to happen. Except we gotta wait 10 minutes.
Yeah. What do you think he'll use to finish him off? Gear Fourth again,
Red,
or
Red Hawk, I told you,
Red Hawk? Yeah.
they put so much emphasis on it.
Red Hawk Gatling.
Yeah, I think it's a Gatling technique.
Hmm. That would be sick. Of course, it would mirror Luffy versus Lucci, so I would have to question the creativity of it, but it would still be pretty damn cool.
Surprise. Yeah, I know. Yes, that wouldn't be very creative, but
It
we
would
are
still be
Oda.
damn cool.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, this arc has kind of been, somewhat criticized for how closely it resembled Alabasta.
Uh huh.
So it
Gatling
would
Storm or Red Hawk Storm then?
that would have been most like I would like that, but who knows what That's the main reason why I think I've been reconfirmed that he's going to use the Red Hawk technique is because I don't. He might after 10 minutes be able to do hockey again, but I don't think he'll have enough energy to do Gear Fourth again.
Same.
And since Doflamingo has been taking heavy damage so far, a Red Hawk technique should be enough.
Yeah, I think at this point, honestly, if Zoro or Sanji were to come across Doflamingo, they would both be able to win.
Not Sanji. He was still too injured from his fight with Doflamingo.
Well, I meant fresh Sanji, but yeah.
Zoro,
Right now,
perfect.
Zoro could probably do it because he's really not all that bad off.
No, he's he's he was just maybe slightly tired from having to run around all day,
Yeah,
but we've already seen his crazy stamina, so
yeah.
and endurance.
Arguably the best of the entire crew,
Right behind Luffy.
or in front of Luffy, depending on how you take the whole taking in Luffy's pain feat. But that's a discussion for a whole different non-existent video.
I guess it's just.
But anyway,
And then,
I just think if Zoro or Sanji, fresh, were to come across this Doflamingo, it would be over for him.
well, we don't even know what he's capable of at this point with how damaged he is because
Yeah, I
he
just
hasn't
think
done it.
based on the context of everything that's happened so far.
Well, no, because remember, the Coliseum fodder is going towards him. He hasn't done anything to them yet because we cut to Burgess.
Right.
So, not that they're going to be able to do jack to him, but for all we know, he could be weakened to the point where friggin', you know, one of the other non-monster trio could take him out.
Right.
Maybe.
Maybe a radical beam.
Or Monster Point.
Right.
Monster Point has, honestly, the Radical Beam and Monster Point are the most likely thing that the non-monster trio could do that would actually stand a chance of beating Doflamingo in this state.
Agreed.
Unless, obviously they're not. Those aren't happening.
And of course, Sabo could easily take out
Oh yeah,
Doflamingo. I think he could
but
take him out fresh versus fresh, but especially in this state, he would be done. But now he's occupied with Burgess instead. So.
see, neither one of them were going all out in the Coliseum because
Right.
even though Burgess didn't look like he cared, like he was attacking the audience with his friggin' elbows. He wasn't going to destroy the stadium
Right.
completely. Not until he got the Mare no Me.
Right.
So the fact of the matter is they were both holding back in that fight.
Hmm.
But this arc it wouldn't make any sense if Doflamingo was taken out by anybody other than Luffy.
Right.
So obviously, as you all remember, last week's chapter, we're like, well, what's the point if, with last week's ending, everyone was like, there's no way that, Doflamingo was going to be out because we just saw, Kinemon, Kanjiro, Zoro, and Frankie are going to try and stall the birdcage, possibly stop it.
Uh
Uh-huh. So now they got their time for that to happen. So like next week's chapter could be focusing a little on Sabo versus Burgess, seeing a bunch of the fodder being taken out by Doflamingo, and then maybe a scene of the samurai plus Frankie trying to stop the birdcage.
huh. Hmm.
Now it would kind of be odd if honestly I feel like Zoro should be able to cut through the string,
Uh huh.
especially if he's assisted by two samurai from Wano Kune.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because even though they're pretty much joke characters, they're just like the Straw Hats. They're jokes off the battlefield, but when they actually decide to take a fight and fight seriously, they're probably very strong. I mean,
Agreed.
especially with Kanjuro and his whole, or not Kanjuro, Kinemon and his whole flame sword technique.
I mean, Brook is basically the same way, where he's pretty much a joke character, but he's
Yeah, but
pretty damn tough.
in terms of overall swordsmanship skills, he's nowhere near the samurai in Zoro because
Oh, hell
they
no.
should. Now we haven't seen it, but most likely the samurai have armament hockey.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be because how else can Kinemon cut fire? That has to be some type of hockey-based sword technique.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's
And,
likely. You just can always just be plot.
well, we'll get a better explanation soon since Monokune is supposedly the next major arc,
Yeah.
with maybe with a short detour to Zoe probably first.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings up the whole question about a theory that I hear going around saying that the current leader of Wano Kune is not only going to be connected to Kaido somehow, but is probably going to be like the unmentioned warlord.
Oh. Hmm. Interesting.
The main one of the other one of the other reasons why they feel like that, because they feel like, oh well, they introduced that there's a warlord we don't know about, and they feel like we can't they from what I've seen they feel like um Doflamingo and prior to pre-time skip, going into the time skip, the only warlords, both current and former, that the Straw Hats had not encountered and in some way, shape, or form in a serious tone was Doflamingo and Mihawk.
Right.
Mihawk obviously is something that's going to be saved for Endgame because that's part of Zoro's goal.
Mm-hmm.
Doflamingo is being taken out now.
Yeah.
Well, there's no need for them to go back and face Buggy again. And Law's no longer a warlord.
Right.
And pretty much is honestly, in my opinion, is a secret Luffy fanboy. I'm telling you now, he's a secret Luffy fanboy.
Yeah.
So, and obviously he's already fought. He fought Kuma. He fought Boa, sort of. And so there's no other warlords except this mysterious one. And
Jinbei's likely to join. He's not even a war. Is he a warlord still?
no, he lost it when he joined Luffy in the
That's right.
past.
Right.
And they kind of already did have a scuffle.
True.
So that leaves this new, and it's from what I've seen, that people feel like they want to finish this whole idea of the warlords before they move towards taking down a Yonko.
Yeah. I mean, that's Fujitora's goal too. Is
Yeah,
taking on the
Fujitora. Yeah.
Shichibukai.
So what better way than have Luffy take out the only other warlord that he hasn't faced yet in combat?
Right.
As a way of, because at the point after Doflamingo, the world's going to be his defeat and the reveal of all the stuff, information we learn. The people's faith in the warlord system is going to be very fragile.
Yes.
So, and would be, and I think the prime opportunity for it to achieve his goal and for the warlord system to be removed is after the defeat of this warlord.
Uh huh.
Because it would be it would be kind of weird. It would be kind of stupid if this warlord remained a mystery for too long.
True.
Because I'm pretty sure, we're gonna find out soon. Because there's gonna be after this arc's over, there's gonna be a lot of talk about the warlords, and he's gonna be talked and whether the Straw Hats find out or if we just find out as the readers, someone's gonna mention this warlord as a part of the conversation, warlord conversation that's going to happen when Doflamingo's take take it out.
Uh huh.
You know, it's just how I feel. At least that's just what I feel.
Uh huh.
You know,
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I don't really disagree.
because I mean, I don't want to have to like. And other reason why is because we don't really do we really need Luffy for or should I say the Marines to keep replacing the warlords and then having to deviate from the Yonko in order for Luffy to take them out.
Yeah, it would get a
In
bit monotonous.
because that was the whole thing about the first half of the Grand Line was the warlords. The warlords ruled the first half of the Grand Line,
Right.
and Luffy beat them all except for Mihawk and Doflamingo,
Uh
or
huh.
challenged them all, I should say.
Right.
And the only other one he hasn't beaten was Kuma, but he's no longer a factor.
Yeah. Kuma's not a factor. Jinbei's obviously not a factor.
Yeah,
Um.
so
Yeah.
that's why, because Oda deviated. You know, Doflamingo was inevitable,
Yeah.
and like you know, Law would have been ended up becoming an ally, so there was no need to face him. And like I said, Buggy he already beat Buggy, and Buggy's only a joke character anyway,
Yeah.
so there's no need for him to become a warlord to as a warlord face off against the unofficial warlord slayer Luffy.
Yeah.
Because when Luffy comes up to a warlord, he either beats him or befriends them.
Pretty much.
And so it would make things a little more interesting at least because then we won't have to, like I said, keep going back and randomly by chance encountering warlords and having to take them out because the warlord tries to take out Luffy.
Uh huh.
So it would just take forever. And we still have to take on the Yonko, which are going to be massive stories.
Oh yeah.
And there's so many different possibilities of how Oda can handle the Yonko battles. Some people, there's a lot of different theories going around. Like, some people think that Luffy's not even going to face Big Mom because of the whole Vivi card thing. Like, she's just going to magically forgive them for everything because, oh, you met my daughter.
Oh please.
Or based on the fact that that Kid took out one of Big Mom's ships, that maybe the Kid Alliance might take her out,
Uh
and
huh.
then Luffy will take while Luffy and Law are taking out Kaido, or the supposed theory of the Supernova Alliance, where there's going to be like Luffy Law Alliance is going to combine with the Kid Alliance and to take on a Yonko.
Yeah. I want to see. I want to see like some concrete threat out of Kid because so far like he hasn't shown anything impressive
Well, remember, we only saw him in combat a
once.
little bit once, and it wasn't that we didn't get to see it that much because he wasn't a focus.
That's what I mean. We need. I want more from Kid before like because like he's been like hyped up, but
To be he seems to be one of Luffy's main pirate rivals. Like like when Luffy becomes Yonko, everyone believes that Kid's gonna be one of the other Yonko.
hmm
So it's like that's why it's more important that we see, Kid and what he's capable of.
yeah, and I mean like his bounty was mostly gotten because he attacked civilians. That was why he got higher than Luffy and Law.
Which is kind of stupid because it's like Luffy has done some crazy shit. He declared war on the government to beat the strongest member in the history of CP9, and he punched a Tenri Veto, and met basically destroyed the reputation of Impel Down but not only by infiltrating it but escaping it with
Right.
causing a massive prison chaos. Like How did Luffy only get an increase of 100 million to the total of 400 million? He should have been freaking 500 million after that shit.
And then how did Law get as high of a bounty as he did?
And then how did Kid? Why is it that Kid, by attacking civilians, become a bigger threat than Luffy?
I
When
don't know.
Luffy directly opposes the government and the world itself,
I
he's
know.
already he's literally nearly one. He's only one step down from his father in terms of opposition with the world government. So how is Luffy not having a higher bounty?
I know, right?
Which I could most likely be remedied by the end of this arc.
True.
Because Doflamingo, even though his bounty was like, what, 300 million, 350 million, whatever the case was, that was before he became a Shishibukai.
Yeah.
Most likely his bounty, if he wasn't a warlord, probably would have been a lot higher.
Oh yeah.
So Luffy's bounty is going to increase.
At least it should.
Hopefully, well, no, it is. There's no way he cannot. Too many witnesses. There's too many witnesses to what happened for the government to cover up that Luffy took out Doflamingo,
Right.
and they're not just going to say, "Oh, well, that wasn't big enough of an impact on the world to warrant a bounty increase," because that's a load of bullshit.
Yeah, getting a Yonko mad is kind of grounds for
A bounty,
impact.
yeah, not taking out a warlord who knows a dirty secret of the the Tenryubito,
Which could die with him if he dies in this arc.
which he might, just not at the hands of Luffy, because
Right.
Luffy doesn't kill, he just maims.
Yeah, he just makes you wish you were dead, which can be arguably worse.
Well, Doflamingo is already embarrassed.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the other things people are saying is that one of the reasons last week there was all that talk about how people thought, oh, well, our reasoning as to why Doflamingo wasn't defeated was because his glasses are still intact, and that the moment Luffy breaks them, you know it's over.
Oh, please. That's so
I,
flimsy.
yeah, but the fact that they stay on, honestly, I believe that because I would love to see Doflamingo what he looks like without his glasses. I just thought that would be interesting.
I mean, I have a feeling that's gonna happen. Like we'll see he'll break his glasses too.
And it won't be anything special,
Right.
but it would still be interesting
Mhm.
because when you have a character that wears sunglasses all the time, they look different without them. I mean, example, YouTuber Everything One Piece. He looked a lot different without his sunglasses and hat on.
Hmm.
Which, for those of you who don't know, he has returned to reviewing One Piece.
Oh, that's good. It's good for him. I know he's
Now,
been through a lot, so good on him.
which was kind of odd because I know he said, "Oh, gonna stop." He said he was gonna go and he wasn't going to review One Piece anymore. I knew that was what the case was, but what I also didn't know was that he wasn't reading One Piece at all.
Oh,
So
really?
so when he announced he was coming back, he said, "Oh well, I'm catching up to One Piece," and then I'm like, "What? You not only did you stop reviewing it, but you stopped reading it?" That just seems odd to me.
And you're rocking a name like that?
Well, I mean, I can understand that, but see, that's the thing I said. Didn't understand me. I can understand if your life's too busy to do, YouTube videos, but spending 5 minutes reading a chapter doesn't.
Let
Whatever.
Let's be honest. Nobody doesn't have time to read a 5 minute chapter or 10 minute chapter. If you don't have that kind of time, you need to make time because you're probably like
If you don't have time to sit down for 5 minutes and read a chapter of One Piece or whatever manga you're reading, then you are way too busy.
Way too busy. Yeah.
No, I know we're not saying, oh, we're not, trying to say, oh, well, we're basically saying if you can't spend 5 minutes doing reading something, if you can't stop your life to read something for 5 minutes, then that means you're overworking yourself and you're probably, you know, um, what you call it, suffering because of it.
Yeah, you're probably quite miserable. Maybe.
So, but anyway, it's
This
probably worth.
chapter, this chapter was interesting.
Uh huh. I think
That's
I'm gonna leave it at that.
that's my rating is interesting.